My first question
Yes.
is for candidates for the Idaho legislature. Senate Bill 1254, which applied to guns on campus, was opposed by all the college and university presidents and the law enforcement officials in those cities. However, it passed the legislature with only 29 no votes. As a member of the Idaho legislature, how would you vote if the bill were in front of you today, and why? We will begin with Dan Schmidt. Yours was one of the 20 no votes. How would you vote today, Dan?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, you won't.
No. Dan said no.
I voted no.
John?
I voted no. I vote no again.
Thank you. John?
I think one of the things that is, I've never seen it in print, is the number of people that actually are affected by this bill. Probably no more than a dozen people on campus, probably less, that fit the criteria of that bill. And I'm sure that it could be redone a little bit to make it a little bit more palatable, but in general, I would vote yes for that bill because I believe strongly in Second Amendment rights, and the impact is minimal on the campus. You've got to be over 21, having an enhanced permit, and not very many students fit that criteria. So I think that was never mentioned and it was brought up.
Cindy?
As many of you know, I was home and did not vote on that bill. We had a death in our family, and I did not expect that bill to come up for a vote at that time. Were I to vote on it today, I tell you that I'd vote no. And I would also tell you that I am the only one up here who put in an enormous amount of effort to stop that bill from coming to the floor. I met with the University of Idaho president, general counsel, and their lobbyist, trying to develop ways that we could stop that bill. I also held a roundtable event with and invited all Republican senators and Republican House members to come and discuss the problems I saw with the bill, because there were a lot of problems in it. So I also addressed my caucus on it right before I came home. And I was told at that time that we would be voting on it after the date for filing for office. And so, had I known that, I would have paired my vote at that time.
Thank you. All that.
So many of you may or may not know, but I had the opportunity to substitute for Shirley Ringo in the House. Well, in that short duration of time, I knew that that House bill was coming. I did not need to be there at the time, but I knew when it was coming, and I knew what I would do about it, because I knew that professors were against it, students were against it, the university community overall was against it. I talked with police chiefs, the Sheriff's Association, people in the community, and I'm not even in this position, but I'm listening. And I knew that everyone was against it overwhelmingly. And I'm a gun member. I mean, I am a gun owner, my family hunts and fishes, and my sons are hunters, and so we're not hypocrites, but we know that this is a gun safety issue. And it was a concern for the community, so you need to listen to the people. And I would have absolutely voted no and debated against the bill in the House floor.
Thank you. Gary?
You know, I think it's a prime example of outside influence coming into our state, and I think that's what we need to concentrate on. We need to look at our problems we have in our state, not let outside influence come in and set the stage for what we're going to talk about. I think an example was a few years ago, term limits. We were the poster child of term limits. And then, of course, when everybody was going to get term limits, they were against it. So I think we need to concentrate on our Idaho solutions for Idaho. We've got enough issues here. We don't let outside influences come in and set our agenda for our legislature. So I think Cindy work in her caucus. I think that's what we need to do in our own caucuses, both sides of the aisle. Work in our caucuses so it's not out there, so everybody gets excited and say, hey, we're not bringing this to the floor. And so that's how I think we should address these issues. Oh, I'm sorry. No, absolutely not.
Caroline?
You know, this is a tough issue. I read a great article in the Daily News this spring, and it was about this, these young kids in a high school that protested the Vietnam War, and they wore a black armband, and they were expelled from school because they were defending their right to free speech. And that's their constitution. I would vote yes, and I'll tell you why. I think it's crazy to have guns on campus. I have 4 daughters who've gone through school, one that's still in school, but 2 of my 4 daughters have felt threatened enough that they have felt the need to defend themselves. It is a different world. I would encourage them, if they felt that they would take the enhanced permit courses, which would mean they'd have to have a federal background check. They would have to take a class, usually from a law enforcement officer, and they would have to shoot their gun a number of rounds. But my children felt threatened enough that they felt that they needed to have a gun to defend themselves. So I would have voted yes for our constitutional.
Thank you.